annual meeting where the previous Woman of the Year will present the Woman of the Year and the previous Man of the Year presents the Man of the Year. So first I will call on Marcia Margolis to present the award for Woman of the Year.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Tonight, it is my honor and pleasure to tell you about this year's Woman of the Year at Adath Israel Congregation. Her family has been a longtime member of Adath, and her parents before that for almost 50 years at Adath Israel. I have had the pleasure of working with her on Women's League projects and know her to be kind, capable, and always willing to give of her time and collaborate with others to get things done. She is not one who seeks the limelight, but is quietly always there to lead and guide with a smile on her face. One of 4 siblings, she and her brother were born in Trenton, and 2 older siblings were born in Europe while fleeing the Nazis. Her parents, Sila and Solomon Shaw, are Holocaust survivors. Our honoree attended Ewing Township Public Schools, graduating from Ewing High School with all A's, and then earned a Bachelor of Science degree in biology and a teaching degree in science and math from Trenton State College, which is TCNJ. She met her soulmate, Howard, through a mutual friend in 1983, and they were married in 1986. They have 3 beautiful daughters, all of whom grew up at Adath, and 2 sons-in-law, Lauren married to Zach, Shelley married to Matt, and Hannah, who just earned her PhD in audiology. Lauren works for the state of New Jersey, and Shelley works in digital media. She is a proud aunt of 15 nieces and nephews and great aunt to 9 great nieces and nephews. Our Woman of the Year works for Princeton Hospital as a teacher in the eating disorder unit and also works for the family business Howco Management. She became involved in Women's League right after joining Adath almost 30 years ago. Over those years, she has tirelessly served on many committees at Adath, including fundraisers, PTO, programming, helping in the kitchen, shopping for Onegs, helping with our Gedalia services, all with warmth and a smile. As if that wasn't enough, she took on the leadership of Women's League, serving as president and co-president for several terms, and also as recording secretary. All of this demonstrates her enduring commitment and dedication to us and our congregation. It's with deep gratitude and warm congratulations that I am honored to announce Adath Israel's 2023 Woman of the Year, Janet Cohen. We show Janet our appreciation as she comes up to accept her award. Congratulations. And this is also for you. There's more.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out who the award would be going to, and I am really, really, really surprised. I thought that I was coming with Howard to cheer on who would be Woman of the Year and Man of the Year, not to receive this. It's really an honor, and we've been members of the synagogue for many years, and we feel like this is our home away from home, and the people here are like family to us. So anything that I've done through the years, it's been an honor and a privilege. And there's so many people who do so much. So I want to thank every person who volunteers here at Adath. And it's it's just, you know, an act of love, I think, for everyone. So thank you so very much. This is really unbelievable. So thank you.
Yes.
And now I call on Ron Gordon to present the Man of the Year.
Mazel tov, Janet. Long overdue. Janet and Howard are one of the big reasons we're members here. Oops,
I just don't.
thank you. This year, we are celebrating Adath's 100th anniversary. To be selected Man of the Year on this anniversary comes with a special place in our history, and I think a little extra pressure. Nobody will remember who was selected for year 99. But 100, that's something special. I think as everyone figures out who was selected or hears me say his name at the end, I'm sure everyone will agree. The committee made a great selection. I first want to apologize to our Mensch of the Year because I am not a very good speechwriter. Unlike our Gentleman of the Year, who is never at a loss for words. I had planned on hiring somebody to write this speech, but unfortunately there was a writer's strike, so I had to. Right. So here we go. I know in previous speeches, presenters dropped hints and would leave people guessing until the end. Our Man of the Year in such a our Man of the Year is such a unique person, has such a unique background that I'm sure long before I finish, you will know who he is. Our MOTY, Man of the Year, has become a fixture at Adath and has probably greeted every member at Adath over the years. He has a bachelor's degree in a bachelor's of art degree in English from the University of Hawaii at Manoa. It is rumored that the last movie he saw in a movie theater was during this time in Hawaii. Ironically, in many ways, this movie was Tora, Tora, Tora. Later, he went on to earn a master's from the University of Wisconsin. He is an expert historian on World War II. In fact, he was called upon to lecture and educate generals and other high-level staff at the Pentagon, where he was awarded a medal for his lectures. The Man of the Year owns several antique cars and has often been seen driving noted Princeton graduates in Princeton University parades. He is an avid collector of record players and phonographs. He is an audiophile. You can find videos on YouTube with him giving presentations and tours. He is the host and star of an Emmy-nominated TV documentary, 7 Secrets Grand Central Terminal. Please don't say Grand Central Station. In fact, he gave members of Adath a behind-the-scenes tour of this historic location that many of us attended and truly enjoyed. Great. He, along with Janice Pincus, have been Adath's reception area greeters for high holidays and many events. He has dedicated many hours, days, weeks, months to Adath being our vice president, a previous personnel chairman conducting member interviews, and a previous and current member of countless key committees. He is dedicated to his partner, Paul. Our gentleman, Mensch of the Year, has just finished his 2-year term as president and has agreed to a historic 3rd year. Thank Hashem. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and honor Daniel. I want to tell you the reason why I am living here in this wonderful area, just a half a mile from the shul. My friend Paul was insistent that we not travel 2 hours each way every weekend, as I visited him in Bucks County, or we drove up in northern New Jersey. And indeed, he drove by this 1958 house of the future, whose future never came, but stayed perfect with flying saucer lamps and pink fixtures and all the like. For years, Paul and I, and Paul's an Episcopalian yet, would attend services at different synagogues. I must tell you that I was very much treated and accepted as being like odd man out, like I'm attending somebody else's party. I and Paul were never spoken to, were never invited to anything. At the Shabbat afterwards, we drink our coffee as everybody was seated and then walk out. But going to the service was very important to us. Everything else was just somewhere else. When Paul showed me this home, I was not at all convinced that I wanted to live here. Even though it was still New Jersey, was far different from where I lived. Environment and the like. So, Paul, in his own way, trying to convince me, drove me past this synagogue and said, look, we like to go to shul every night, every Friday night. Let's stop here. I was very much against it, even though I would always go to shul, because here I really was a total stranger, a place I didn't know. And already services were just about to begin when Paul and I walked in here and sat in a far corner. Rebbe Grossman, who was about to start the service, stopped. He walked down from the bima and personally and effusively greeted us. And from that day on, every member of this synagogue has been kindness, graciousness, sincere interest, warmly inviting me into the synagogue, into their lives. And also warmly inviting Paul, an Episcopalian yet. When I'd come here, and Paul was doing something else, the first thing they said to me instead of Good Shabbos was, where's Paul? There's something you ought to know. And that is this: because of the warmth, the kindness, the graciousness, the acceptance that Paul and I had from every member of this shul. Paul, who was working at the Woods School or Woods Services
in Langhorne, which is a 300-acre campus for people who are 3 years old or 83 years old, who are mentally and physically handicapped. Because of what Paul experienced here, he volunteered his time to take the Jewish clients from the Wood School and bring them to a local shul, Shir Ami, where because he was here and by rote, he knew all the chanting, all the services. He would tell them when to stand up, when to sit down. He would bring them to Jewish education. None of this would have happened without you. It shows you how things can move and spread out farther than even the synagogue. I want to tell you this. One of the patients there, a woman in her 50s, who was seemingly forever catatonic, would just stare, not move. You could fire a gun in front of her face, she wouldn't flinch. Paul had her sit next to him. And as he's learned all the services and the chanting by rote, there he is, Paul, Episcopalian, davening, chanting the prayers. This woman, who was catatonic for 50 years, turned her head and looked at him, leaned over and gave him a kiss. This all emanated from here. Your gracious, your goodness, your kindness, fabulous here. It also spreads out to the world at large. And more of that we sure need. Thank you. I am humbled. I am thrilled. And God bless. I love you all.